Hello card fighters, welcome to a new video on our channel. This time we will do something new and analyze the new card that's coming from Dear Days, Sword Saint Knight Dragon, Graham Grace, and what it's capable of in terms of the premium format. Without any further ado, let us look into the card. Graham Grace is a standalone boss from Overdress Format's video game, Vanguard Dear Days. It has three abilities which work together in a resourceful combination. Its first effect is a continuous one, which allows the power addition from a persona ride to affect the entire field rather than just the front row. This is already powerful on its own as it means you can give a whole 20,000 extra power to each boosted attack you do. Thanks to this, it's very easy to make powerful columns. This effect was also meant to support the act skill, which allows you to draw a card and then call a card from hand to the center back row, giving it plus 10,000 power and the ability to attack from the back row. It can be cheeky with Persona Ride as it turns your 13,000 power rearguard into a 33,000 attacker power from the back row, making it formidable. Thanks to this card's skill design, you don't exactly minus in hand and in fact plus on the field. That plussing will be crucial to keep up field presence and make full use of the board-wide Persona Ride power-up. Now, if you find the Soul Blast effect a bit hard to pay for every turn, especially if you go for a bit of a soul-heavy strategy, the third effect allows you to place the back row center rearguard into the soul and draw a card out of it after it has finished attacking. This makes any unit called by Graham Grace a phantom rearguard, and it would essentially make the cost of the second skill just a counterblast. The draw is also advantageous as it is A+ to the hand, meaning you can build up defense or offense. While this looks great for standard, how would it do on the premium battlefield? Graham Grace in premium actually has strong potential with the standard tech, which can provide power, protection, or even removal. But if we talk premium, we talk about clan-based cards, so seeing all the skills, we can directly look into many United Sanctuary clans that either don't need to stride during the battle phase, or simply use strides to copy the effects. It can work for both resources and multi-attack, allowing you to decide which one you wish to use over the other, but you do gain a bit of them while focusing on one aspect, making it a strong deck that is quite flexible and with large columns to boot. The clans that work best with all the effects of Graham Grace are Royal Paladin and Shadow Paladin, as they have Crystal Luster Dragon and Chainranker Dragon respectively to copy the effects of Graham Grace and add on top of it a guard restrict on Generation Break 3. In Royal Paladin, this card is more focused on the multi-attack and pressure that Royal Paladins are most adept to. Jewel Knights are the most generic engine for multi-attack after all and can allow you to do 6 attacks overall. Baron can be formidable too, but only when the Vanguard is the one attacking, as it would retire itself and pay a counterblast to give a critical while also giving plus 5,000 power to the Vanguard when it's attacking. And since you use your counterblast a lot, Packle patches that up by countercharging 2 when it's placed by paying 2 Soul Blasts. Crystal Luster Dragon is also an effective copy stride in any Royal Paladin deck, making for a more dangerous Graham Grace. And Ulyagus is the cheeky first stride that can make a force marker for Graham Grace to utilize, making both Force 1 and 2 viable options to run. However, this is not the only clan that Graham Grace works with, albeit the easiest to build around. Shadow Paladin, while the harder clan to pilot for Graham Grace, is still a cheeky choice for his deck build. You have a draw engine by calling Origin Mage Ildona to back row with Graham Grace's skill. You can attack with Ildona to pay a counterblast and draw 2 cards, then put it into your soul with Graham Grace's effect to draw an additional card. Dark Knight Maiden, Matcha and Black Sage, Karen are also cards to consider in this deck, being usable for either making an extra attacker or a Vanguard booster for a Soul Blast. Karen can also reduce Graham Grace's cost by countercharging for a Soul Blast, making it a Soul Blast 2 to make a 31,000 attacker, being a powerful choice for Graham and won't be wasted if you ever drew it. Chainranker Dragon, if you remember from our Phantom Blaster Overlord video, is also a formidable choice, while its guard restrict conditions are harder to pull off for Graham Grace than with Crystal Luster Dragon. It is still worth it as it can go for power, utility, and resources at the same time thanks to the aforementioned units. Lastly, we have Krokruuk, a first stride for all non-ritual focused decks with great value just being a restanding Vanguard without losing drive checks. While we can expect to see dedicated support for Graham Grace in Keter Sanctuary in the future, the nation already provides some interesting generic support he can use. Knight of Protective Spear, Arthan provides all units with a different name than his own a pseudo-resist skill if he's on your front row. Also, when you Persona Ride, he gains an additional 5,000 power during his attacks. The second skill has synergy with Graham Grace's reliance on persona riding, whereas the first skill can help circumvent annoying field control skills, including Denial Griffin. Asepsis Angel is a grade 1 attacker that can CB1 to remove a single target from your opponent's field, whereas Energy Refill Angel can pay 1 Soul Blast to power itself up based on your number of units. Considering Graham Grace's goal of powering up an entire field, Energy Refill Angel will more than likely get good value out of her skill. Lastly, Painkiller Angel is a generic staple in the nation that provides some boosting offense without reducing your hand size. The Soul Blast costs of these last two cards is partially resolved thanks to Graham Grace sending 1 unit to Soul every turn. Finally, here are some details to be aware of right now when it comes to Graham Grace. First off, Bushi has yet to give ruling clarification whether his continuous skill for the Persona Ride mechanic carries over when you stride over him with a stride that doesn't copy Graham Grace's abilities. Either he must be your vanguard or the stride must copy his ability, or similar to Thagria he changes the rules for your Persona Ride, meaning you don't need the con skill to stay active for the back row Persona Ride power. Within the premium format, you need to be mindful of timing for skills and combos, when to attack, how to use units optimally, etc. Lastly, as of right now the only way to get Graham Grace is through a promotional product tied to Vanguard Dear Days, Bushiroad's official simulator for the card game. In conclusion, Graham Grace is a card with the potential to be in the spotlight of premium with the right strategy to play to his strengths, with him being the first boss so far with such a unique skill design, strong fields, and flexible use of support, all while being very useful in different ways at the same time. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do like, subscribe, and share this video. And if you have any ideas you'd like us to cover, do let us know in the comments section below. And with that, we shall see you in the next Vanguard Potential.